Some decision had been made that I didn't know about.
Probably a good thing.
Check 1 2.
Check 1 2.
Good morning. Buenos dias. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. My name is Rick Sutter. I joined this church in 2001. Since then, I've taught an RE class, I've helped with Mystery Pals, I held several positions with the Trust Fund of the Endowment, and most recently, I served on the website committee and ended up rebuilding the new website. Let's begin by acknowledging this geographic place where we are currently located, Yanawana, the home and traditional lands of the Coahuiltecan people, the original and indigenous stewards of this land, to which we all belong, now called San Antonio, Bexar County, and Texas. Let us also bear in mind that many indigenous peoples have not been recognized by our federal government, even as they continue to live among us today as vital contributors to our communities. Indeed, we speak these truths as one small step toward becoming the diverse, inclusive, and multicultural community of communities we aspire to be. I was given one announcement. Please join us today at the COPS Metro Delegates Assembly. It'll be held at 3:30 p.m. at Holy Redeemer Catholic Church. If you have any questions, please see Diane Dusterhoff. At our church, we strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our actions for justice for all and for our planet. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope you will find your place with us.
Water is powerful. It carves stones. It rearranges the earth. It creates lasting transformation. Yet water is humble. It seeks the lowest place. What can we learn from water? During this month of September, the theme of our services will be belonging. Today is our ingathering service, and I'm so pleased to see how many of us have answered the call to gather together today. So what can we learn from water about our belonging together? That's a matter of worth for us to examine today. And as we do, I invite us to greet a neighbor, someone you know, someone you do not yet know. Let's pass the peace. Hey, that was fun. Let's do it again. We will soon. For our opening hymn, I invite you all to rise in body or spirit and affirm in this song our radical statement of worth, dignity, and inclusiveness. Number 107 in your teal hymnal, "There's a river flowing in my soul." There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. Don't be afraid to move a little. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. That's enough. Thank you so much. I love that spirited singing. As Unitarian Universalists, we love to light the chalice. And I'd like to invite Dante Bujanda-Moore to come forward. Dante is finishing off high school this year. Yeah. He's a senior at Alamo Heights, where he serves as treasurer of SAGA, the Straight and Gay Alliance. He also participates, thank you. He also participates in the National Honor Society. Yeah. And he was selected by his principal to serve on a site-based committee to help decisions about administrative issues. Dante, thank you for your leadership. He enjoys spending time with his wonderful friends and his darling girlfriend. And he's in his 4th year of the high school rocketry program. Rocket scientist in the making here. They'll travel in June of 2023 to White Sands Missile Range to launch the rocket they've been crafting and building throughout the academic year. We're excited for that. And he plans to study environmental engineering when he heads off to college next year. Dante, take over from here.
The flaming chalice unites our members in worship and symbolizes the spirit of our faith. Our faith and the practice of community is rooted in our theology. It affirms the truth that no one is outside our circle of love, and that liberation is only possible when everyone is free. We are all in transition, and we need moral and faithful communities to hold us and to provide a vision and a call for what is next. We will have to fight and boldly proclaim what is next. We will do this by living our prophetic faith that proclaims that the truth that makes us free. We were made for this moment. We are the people we have been waiting for. May we truly be the people that we are called to be. May this be so.
are called, as Unitarian Universalists, to build the beloved community, where all are welcome as blessings. May we strive to share grace and forgiveness with ourselves and each other, in the hope of becoming whole and reconciled. Each week, we affirm this commitment to live and behave as a community in covenant. We know that this aim takes work. And as a first step, let's now recite our covenant that articulates these promises and binds us together in community, first in English, then in Spanish. The words can be found in your order of service and on the screen. And if you are joining us online, please say them with us. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro.
Can't you see me coming? Can't you see me now? I will bring a little water every little once in a while.
our choir and musicians. Yes. Yes. Well, where would we be with our lessons of water if we didn't have a little fire? We have a chalice that's burning, and we are going to invite you to come forward and to light our votive lights. Because it's time to share our joys and sorrows, and we have them. Let us reflect and recall that ours is a welcoming community that connects us, a spiritual community that enlivens us, a sharing community that amplifies our joys, and a caring community that hears our sorrows and holds us in compassion. Today, may we listen more deeply, see each other more clearly, grow closer to each other each time we gather in this belonging together. So you're invited to come forward down the side aisles and light a candle, returning up the center aisle as suits your path to your seat while Jaime plays some music to accompany us. Thank you, Jaime. I'd like to share with you from our book of joys and sorrows that's in the foyer before the service. Please add to it if you can remember when you come in before the service. Sorrow in memory of September 11th, 2001, and for the death of Queen Elizabeth II on Thursday, September 8th. Both our president and our governor authorized flags to be flown at half-staff so that we may remember over and over when you see those many flags around. The Queen, her flag is scheduled to be flown at half-staff until she is interred, which will fly until sundown on Monday, September 19th. So we'll have ample opportunity to view the flags at half-staff. May we remember them and hold them in a place of honor, the Queen, the victims of 9/11, and the many first responders and other people who came to give their lives in many ways. In fine, bold print, Frank Cervantes writes, "I am retired." Frank, I think there's a little more of an edge on the joy side than the sorrow side on that one, right? And another person, anonymous, writes, "My first end-of-term exams are this week." My first end-of-term exams. I don't know how many of us can remember our first end-of-term exams. I remember my last end-of-term exams. And as a joyful postscript, I'd like to introduce and ask Utah Hambrick to rise and be acknowledged. Somehow we didn't get you in the program today. Thank you, Utah, our guest rhythm master and bassist. Thank you. Join with me now in your heart of hearts for a moment of repose. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Let's think about all of our joys and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken. And for all of them, may we feel empathy and compassion. And may our community offer caring and a space of deep kindness and loving and just action. May it be so. Thank you. It's time for our invitation to generosity. Our church has a larger purpose to support all of us in becoming more generous and open-hearted in the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. All of this in the context of trust. A church moves at the speed of trust. For those of you viewing online, we're grateful for you, and we invite you to make a contribution on our website in the link on the chat stream. And for those of us in the sanctuary, you may contribute to our church in the baskets being brought forward by our ushers. And I invite the ushers to assemble and come forward to the front. Thank you. And while we make our offerings, I'm inviting up Robby Vance, who has been in the midst of a move, and we're so grateful to have him back with us today. Thank you, Robby, for bringing us this wonderful tune. We bless you and Sonia.
want me to be, and I'm your worst fear. You'll find it in me. Come closer, come closer. I am more than memory. I am what might be. I am mystery. You know me, so show me. When I appear, it's not so clear if I'm a simple spirit or I'm flesh and blood. But I'm alive, I am so alive, and I feed on the fear that's behind your eyes. And I need you to need me, it's no surprise. I'm alive, so alive, I'm alive. I am flame and I am fire. I am destruction, decay, and desire. I'll hurt you, I'll heal you. I'm your wish, your dream come true, and I am your darkest nightmare too. I've shown you, I own you, and though you made me, you can't change me. I'm the perfect stranger who knows you too well. But I'm alive, I am so alive, and I'll tell you the truth if you let me try. You're alive, I'm so alive, I'm alive, so alive, I'm alive, I'm right behind you. You say forget, but I remind you. You can try to hide, but you know that I will find you. 'Cause if you won't grieve me, you won't leave me behind. Oh, no, 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 I'm alive, and I'll show you why. You can climb on my back, and we both can fly. If you try to deny me, I'll never die. I'm alive, so alive, I'm alive, yeah, yeah, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive.
You'd better believe it. Thank you, Robby Vance. We bless the offerings we have received. May we live in the true spirit of our Unitarian Universalist tradition to be generous and kind. To the people we know, to the people we have yet to meet, to the causes we observe and the ones we've yet to observe. May our blessings be multiplied through our sharing of them. Amen, and may it be so. Thank you, ushers.
Just got a lot of traffic up here this morning. In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer describes the frustration and then enlightenment that struck her when she was learning the Ojibwe language. Words that she considered nouns kept being translated as verbs. Words that she would have used to describe a fixed, discrete thing instead was translated into words about a state of being. She realized that English speakers organize the world into things, and that Ojibwe culture organizes the world into ways of being. And she calls this a grammar of animacy. She explains that the words for bay, waterfall, stream, and other bodies of water translate into water being a bay, water being a stream, water being a waterfall. In this way, English speakers think of a discrete, fixed thing, and the Ojibwe speakers see as a moving, changing being that is alive. If we attempt such a grammatical shift, the water is no longer a thing, a commodity, some thing over there, but it becomes an active being, a participant. If we make such a grammatical shift, we soon become part of the action. Our bodies can be seen as water being a human. For that's a really big part of what we are, right? We're 70% water, and water passes through us every day. So we become part of that water cycle as we drink it and then send it back out. And this is why water feels so good to us, because the water on the outside speaks to the water inside of us. It refreshes us and calls us back to life. So that is what we're going to do here this morning. We're going to invite people to come forward and receive the refreshment of water. We have 3 bowls. You are welcome to come up to one of these bowls and dip a finger into the water and then brush the water onto your skin. You can anoint yourself or another person who asks this of you. And if you want, Reverend Mark and Bridget and I will be there, and we would be happy to refresh you with an anointing. And for people who need to stay where they are sitting, if you want, please raise your hand, and someone will come and bring the water to you as well. All right? And as we do when we light our candles, we invite people to come forward and then go back to their seats without bumping into each other too badly. Oh, yes. And this water, this particular water is rainwater that we collected on Wednesday and filtered and boiled. But you still shouldn't drink it just yet. Because it came off the roof. And okay, all right. This is the rainwater that calls to your soul. Come forward and let yourself be refreshed.
Are there any children that would like to go and be with yourselves on the playground? Yeah, finally. Jaime, let's sing them out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the power of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. And in Espanol, Vance en paz, que el Espíritu de amor los rodee en todas partes, donde quieran ir. Thank you, everyone. Hey, we've all thrown a stone into the water, and if we don't throw it too hard and it doesn't skip across the water, it plops in and makes concentric circles, right? Ripples that move outward. A series of circular and expanding waves. Now, that's an image of how we all are together. Every time we connect with someone, we have an influence on them that can ripple outward. We may not always see or feel these ripples, but they're there. You see, our lives are pretty complex right now, right? We had a retreat for the staff the other day, and the people from the UUA that were guiding us said, anybody here feeling a little tired? Anybody here feeling a little depressed? Anyone here feeling out of sorts? We all said yes. Anyone here feeling that way too? You know, it's been challenging this last 2.5 years, and I don't know that it'll ever get any easier. So I want to bring to you this message today of refreshment from the water, that we can turn to something as simple and powerful as the element of water, of which, as Nell said, we are comprised 70%. The planet is comprised some 70%. We've got water. And whatever the collective numbness or trauma that we're feeling, the isolations, the disconnection, this water blessing is being offered to us as an opportunity to renew, to refresh, to continue to endure, and to feel at home together in this belongingness. Now, finding that in a community of many members and of friends, even though many of us share common values and practical connections, family, friends, all done in covenant, can be still a pretty challenging thing. And I want to remind us today of the relevancy of who we are and what we do. I am so committed to this community of growth and change, and I want to talk a little bit about that so that you'll get it. Every day I interact with some of you. Some days, many of you. And these experiences run the gamut from happy to sad, to good to bad, to uplifting and challenging. And one feeling I can say about this place that I never have, I know, be careful about saying never, is indifference. And I don't know about y'all. I don't know how many of you feel indifferent about this. I imagine not very many, or you wouldn't be here today. But if you're feeling indifferent, that's the way it is. So when you contact me and tell me that you're not happy, you're not healthy, you're lacking some basic need, I do my best to respond. Sometimes I'm not sure how to respond, and so I surround myself with capable people, our staff, leading volunteers of our community, folks who've been around here for a long time, people that I've married, people that I have conducted a memorial service for their loved ones. These are people that I call on when I'm in need and wondering how to respond to particular requests. Now, one of the primary functions of a minister is to provide pastoral care. Now, believe it or not, we don't often call our ministers pastors around the UU tradition. But for many of you, that may be the first word you used when you met a minister or a priest or someone who had some kind of religious calling, pastor. And I respond to that. I respond very well. Now, a pastoral visit may be a singular situation. It may be a series of Zooms, as it has been over the last couple of years. But it always involves listening, conversation, questioning, trying to determine what the needs are, what the wants are, and how to meet those. I'm helped greatly daily by Reverend Nell, by Kathy McFarland, our congregational administrator. She worked as a registered nurse and a chemical dependency counselor at one of our nation's leading rehab centers before joining our staff. She is specifically gifted to be maybe the first person who will answer the phone when you call and help to determine who you might turn to for your need to be met. And over the years, a group of volunteers has surfaced among the members of the congregation. We call them pastoral associates. They offer all kinds of care when it's needed. A steady presence through regular calls, as frequently or infrequently as you request, by phone, by computer, in person, if needed. And Nell or I have been meeting with them for years on a monthly basis to go over in total confidence the issues that we are wanting to address for these beloved members of our congregation. You may not have experienced this. You may hope never to have experienced this, but I'm telling you, it happens regularly, and it is here for you. We have our wonderful therapists here in the community on whom I've called. Hey, I know when my pay grade isn't sufficient to engage some issues with people, whether it's really deep marital counseling or something that requires therapy. I'm not a therapist, neither's Nell, but we are counselors, we are listeners, and we are married, so we go through some of these experiences ourselves and have a whole bank of experiences to share. I really wanted to introduce today, as a part of this whole systemic look that water brings to us, as water being pastoral counseling and pastoral associates. One of the many things that we do around here. We have a member care team. They provide things that are more practical, like rides, visits, calls, meal trains, receptions for memorial services. We've got one coming up soon for our dear Jocelyn Rudeloff, and we'll have the service in here, and we'll have a reception in the fellowship hall. So I get the joy of seeing behind the scenes to all of these machinations, if you will, taking place, because there are many wheels turning that make a difference in our community. And I want you all to know how fulfilling this is for me. It feeds my soul. And I want for your passions to be fed here too. And I'm hoping through our membership committee and through our volunteers and through our staff that you will think about what it is that you're passionate about and how we can support you in that, just like we support people who call us about pastoral care needs. This church is like water in constant flux. It's a dynamic. There are conversations and communication and observations and requests and needs and cares, and we can each have a small part in making a difference. So like the living water that we have in these bowls that we were touched by today, we too mix and mingle as we become more diverse and more committed to being a powerful community, a community of change. We are much more than the sum total of our separate parts. So together in community, beloved community, we need to reach out and expand like those ripples from the stone in the water. And we need to take ownership and responsibility for this place. Can I see a few nodding heads that you're willing to take some ownership and responsibility for this place? It won't happen unless we all do. Welcome back home to our church for this ingathering ceremony, a community of belonging together. May it be so. May it continue to be so. Ashe, and blessed be. Once again, if you are able, if you would like to, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing this hopeful song which celebrates our belonging together, again in the Teal hymnal number 1046, Shall We Gather at the River? How about let's just do verses 1, 2, 3.
At the river that flows by the throne of God.
Please remain standing for this brief benediction. May we have the hindsight to learn from where we've been, the foresight and vision to see where we will go together, and the insight to live fully in each moment. Let's go knowing that we belong here. May it be so. Enjoy your day. Be like the water.